What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
And my camera is frozen.
How are you? Oh shit, we had a couple of
Yeah,
little
my
technical
camera is frozen.
difficulties.
This is great.
It's all good. Restart,
Shit.
monster. You know, no
I'll be back.
worries. We'll see you in a minute. You and me, G3, for a minute. How you been?
Pretty good. How about you, bud?
Great. Couldn't ask for a weirder week. Is that Mercury in retrograde or something?
Mercury is in retrograde.
As you can see, we're already experiencing it live on the show.
Yeah, it's retrograding hard too.
Yeah?
I
Can
don't
you
know if
remind
anybody
us
else is struggling right now,
what
but
that
like,
means?
woo.
What does that mean for us in our daily
Oh
lives?
man. So Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year for 3 weeks each time. And during it in the way that the orbits of both Mercury and Earth go around the sun, during that 3-week period, it looks like Mercury kind of stalls in the sky and moves backwards instead of forwards. So this is retrograde. And Mercury is the planet of communication, technology, travel, things like that. So those things tend to go a little wonky during retrograde. So communication
Such as
goes awry.
what we're trying to do right now.
Motherfuckers.
Yep. So just
There
like
he is.
watch what you say. Technology goes super wonky. So just save things while you're working on them, I guess. Be careful around your glass. Lots of like clumsiness. Lots of just things are a little wonky. Be careful.
They
Don't
certainly
start
are.
anything
Man.
new until retrograde is over. Retrograde often like shows you what you're ignoring in your life. If things are stagnant, it tends to get things moving.
Okay.
In kind of unfun ways sometimes, but it definitely makes you deal with things in your life. Don't start anything new until retrograde is over, if
Interesting.
you can help it.
Does that include plants?
No.
It's not going to
I don't think so, because plants are natural beings. You're not really like starting anything. They're doing everything. So I'd say plant away.
All right. Just, if other shit's going wrong, you know who to blame.
Yeah,
It's
just
fucking
like
Mercury.
things tend to go a little sideways,
Word. Well, I think we got our communication issues fixed for the time being,
Hooray, welcome back.
which brings us to the important question of the week, guys. What are we smoking on tonight?
Well, we start with you, Cap. We never start with you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yo, I got something new too. I'm excited about. It's that So I got a Christmas gift from Alabrije last year. Nice card, pack of seeds, and it included this one called Permanent Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to grow her, and holy shit, here I am smoking her. It's amazing how these things come to fruition. And my God, like this one has a seriously exotic lemongrassy and it's totally unlike any other terp profile I've ever had. It's narrow leaf, leaner all the way. And I hope to be on a permanent holiday when I smoke her. We'll see.
All right.
Very nice. I've
What about
definitely
you?
heard the name before.
Yeah?
I don't know that I've seen a lot of people grow her though.
Well, it's not one that he released.
Yeah, I think it was like given away with I don't know. I don't know.
It came like as like a if you bought something from him, I believe he sent out just like Christmas cards to people. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you get some of that G3 as well?
Unexpected.
I did.
I was gonna say I didn't want to say because he sent me some too. I didn't want to be like G3 is the only one that didn't get it.
No. Oh my gosh, I get the most lovely packages and gifts from Alabrije. Like all of my love to him and his beautiful, very talented wife. Like they're just the best. The best.
Well, yeah, I
Definitely
mean,
sold, dude.
I loved getting a Christmas gift. I popped the bean as soon as I had the space, and I'm very happy I did. I must say, the taste is what one thing I always judge autos on. Right? Is does the taste actually carry through?
Mm.
I find that's one thing where like yeah, they sometimes smell great, but like they don't. It doesn't carry over into the exhale. This one, I'm happy to report, very much does, and as does like most of his stuff. I gotta say, they're just super flavorful. So,
Yes, very much so.
yeah, cheers, guys. What do you got for tonight?
Hooray.
G3.
Yeah, G3. What do you got?
So I have this George's root beer from BGG that he sent me.
Nice.
Another amazing package. Oh my god, I have the best friends. Um, Monster says it might make me stupid though. So
I never
if I
said
start
that.
You're
I said if you
stupider.
smoke, like you smoke.
it's too much,
Oh,
it could possibly make you know, which is an absolutely valid thing that absolutely happens to me with a lot of strains. So if I become a blathering idiot, you guys know why.
okay. So, what do you I'll just spoil. It's also what I'm smoking on.
Ooh,
I want to know like what you think of it though, because for me it's unique. I get like that vanilla-ish spice. Um,
yeah.
it's tough to describe. I can't remember anything off the top of my head. Like the first time I smoked it, I said, "Oh man, that's definitely unique." I can't remember that certain profile, but I enjoy it a lot. He did good with it. I mean, I'm running low, but I've been,
That's how you
I
know
mean,
it's a good one.
yeah, you when you got fucking gaggles of weed and you can just smoke whatever you want, it's great. But I've been savoring this stuff because I like it. So
That is very interesting. Like that's a very interesting flavor.
it is.
Yeah, vanilla. Didn't they say like men experience the scent and flavor of vanilla in like a different way than women do?
I never heard
Yes.
that before.
And
Hmm.
it's like one of the most complex yet it's like a synonym for bland almost too. It's like what we call the most complex and hard to describe flavor bland. Like it's not true at all. Vanilla is extremely exotic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just took
It's
another big
definitely
rip.
like root
Ooh,
beer float
yeah.
kind of, like it definitely has that root beer, but there's
I get
something
Vanilla.
else in there. It's
something a little floral. Um, I don't know, but
Oh,
I enjoy
that
it. I enjoy it like a
linalool.
motherfucker.
oh man, I love linalool.
Ooh,
Well, good. That sounds like we all have some unique, like some names we haven't been mentioning before. Some new stuff. It's always good.
yeah, man.
Shock the cannabinoid system.
Yeah.
It's you got to mix up the workouts every so often. Otherwise, you don't train the same muscles. The goal is to get a strong endocannabinoid system. You got to hit it and hit it in all the spots.
High intensity interval
Yeah,
training.
that's right. Low reps or high reps, low weight, or do low reps, high weight.
Just all I hear is wah 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 right now.
I don't know how we can apply that to smoking. I don't know. I think I do. What would you call like? I think I do high reps, low weight because I smoke bongs. So I only do a few. You know what I mean? Like it only takes
You're
me.
always better off with that anyway. Like more
I would,
repetition.
yeah, I would consider low reps high weight to be like dabbing.
Yeah,
Okay, it's a good way to put it.
yeah. Like you do one, you do two,
Right. And you're
and
like,
your set's
good.
done. Whereas, yeah, I guess I'm in between. I guess bongs aren't quite like joints are just smoke and smoke, smoke.
Right. How many
Yeah,
hits does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll
that's
center of a
that's right.
Tootsie Pop, you know?
I'll be looking for a new device soon. I don't know if I mentioned I my Dr. Dabber is done. I might be
Oh
able to fix it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of my own fault. I mean, so they say you should change the atomizer every 6 months. However, mine kept fucking working, and I didn't have any issues with it. No loss of vapor production or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, they're just trying to sell you more shit. However, the the fact that it's screw in, right, and it may not be like 100% tight, like resin and shit, like fucking backfed into basically like the electronics. Like it must have just like flooded it out. One day I had it hot in my car and I pulled it out and I could see like shit oozing from it everywhere, and it hasn't really worked right since. I might be able to clean it out and restore it, but I'm
Yeah,
not
hit
sure.
that shit with some ISO. Like take the whole thing apart, hit it with some ISO, put it back together, let it
Yeah,
dry.
I mean, it don't really owe me a whole lot. At the end of the day, I can't really. I had two of them. One of them was taken by the Canadian government. I mean, the United States government. Canada was nice enough to let me keep the thing. I begged them, and then 5 minutes later, the U.S. border took it away. But I bought two of them, and the only reason I ended up having two is I broke the glass on one of them. They didn't have replacement glass at the time. It wasn't in stock, but you could buy a whole unit. So I just bought a fucking unit because I needed the glass, and then I ended up buying replacement glass when it was in. So I had two. I kept one at home, one in the bag. But so anyway, it's not working. I did try fucking around with it, but I'm in the market for a new dab device. Looking
I
around.
just went through this whole process. Like
Yeah.
the research, the like endless reviews on Reddit, just endless. And I got it down to, and there's going to be some hate hearing of this, the Peak Pro V2 from Puffco, the Dr. Dabber Switch, and the Carta Focus. Is it Focus 5 or Focus V?
I think it's the Focus V. I could be wrong.
I didn't know if that was supposed to be a Roman numeral or
Yeah,
not.
I'm not
So,
sure. I'm not sure to be completely honest with you. All good
yep,
devices.
all good ones. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
And
So,
they're all those like automated dabbers, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, look, I have the
electronic
torch,
dab rigs.
and that's great. And you can people call it diet dabs because of the electronic thing. You're definitely not getting as big of a rip as you will with a torch. I mean, you can get pretty damn fucking close, but it's not about that for me, man. I just want to. I don't want to fucking choke my brains out. I just want to take a few rips and um, you
Get
know,
some nice clean terps.
yeah,
You know,
so it's not always about that. And I have this e-nail thing that attaches to my bong. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I acquired it for free. It's okay. It's definitely not my preferred method. If I like right now, I don't have the dab device, so I've been just breaking out the torch when I want to take a dab. Over the convenience of the e-nail, which I always wanted one, by the way. I'm
an
glad I
email.
never. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool. You just put it in your
Yeah.
bong, turn on the temp, but to me, I can. It just doesn't taste the same going through metal that it does glass.
Hmm.
Maybe if there was some sort of attachment that attached to my glass, I'm sure there is. I don't know, but this one I acquired for free. I couldn't even tell you the brand name of it. Just not 100%. I don't think it's like the bee's knees at all. I mean, for flavor profile, you can't beat the electronic devices in my opinion because you can control the temp, keep it nice and low, and just get them terps so easily. You could do that with a torch too, with the temperature regulator and all that bullshit. But it's just
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
can't.
it's
I'm
too much
it's a
fucking
so
work,
bad
cumbersome
at it.
setup. Yeah, like
dude.
it.
Like I can't. It's for instance. Let me just give you a perfect example. My wife doesn't smoke. I've talked about this before.
Yeah,
If
it
I if
freaks
I
people out, dude.
if I bring that into the living room like with a fucking torch and shit, she, she's like, "What the?" And I've done it a couple times,
Yeah,
and she's like, "What the fuck? Are you serious? Like, you need all that to get high?" And so, like you said, to the average person, fucking kind of looks a little weird that doesn't smoke.
it's it's like, wait, are you freebasing your weed right now?
My dad, like, totally busts my balls every time, anytime he's seeing it. So anyway, the electronic one, my wife will bitch about the fucking buzzing. So it's like, she'd probably complain if I hung her with new rope. You just, um, but it's more acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
sit there and
for
rip
sure.
that while we're watching Netflix or whatever. Then fucking easier than the
Yeah,
torch.
it's not something that like is gonna disrupt the vibes of an entire room if you if you break it out in the middle of a movie or something. Yeah, you can kind of blend into the crowd with it a little bit more at least. I don't know. Maybe
Somebody
those.
told me they think like the dab devices are the new like Bud Light. Like you walk around and see everybody's got it in their hand. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that. Like, not that the people I hang out with drink Bud Light, but it's a figure of
That's
speech.
funny, man.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like it.
they are very personalizable, aren't they? Like you can get like what do they call those things that
Yeah.
the kids put on their Crocs nowadays?
Well,
Those
as far
these little
as
pins,
aftermarket shit
like
and
that stuff.
community support, you can't beat the Peak Pro. Like there's so much shit that people make for those things, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. I've seen some wild ones, like because they're fully customizable. You can make it your own. Um, and
Yeah.
if that's super important to you and that's what you want, then that's the device for you.
Some of the stuff's super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm a little jealous if you guys end up with some cool new dabber devices, but
She got a
Nice
sweet deal
ones.
on that
chill
fucking
over
thing.
here with
I
my
did.
bomb,
Tell us how
Christy.
you acquired that deal if you can.
I through my work I got a 40% off code for Puffco, but only on one of their
Nice.
original devices. So it couldn't be on any of their limited stuff.
Mm.
So I was going through all of the different choices and I couldn't make a decision. I couldn't make a decision. I'm a Gemini. I'm terrible at making decisions. Um, so yeah, this kind of made the decision for me.
Yeah,
So it
at
was
that
like
price, I
just
really
over
That's
don't think you
cool.
can go wrong.
$250 for a Peak Pro V2. And this
Oh,
this thing, I got it in pearl. It looks like a unicorn horn. It's got the spiral and everything. Like, come on. Come on. Amazing. I can't wait. It comes tomorrow morning. I was really hoping it would come early today for the
See,
show.
I
It
hate when
didn't.
I order shit like that. I'm like, if I spend
This is the
anything more
coolest
than
thing
like
I
a
have ever seen.
Can't wait. Light
if
up
I spend
unicorn
more than like
horn.
$100 and I'm waiting for something to come in the mail, I'm the worst. I just like fucking I hate waiting for shit. That's a lot of times like stuff like that I'll try to buy in store just because I want that
yeah, yeah,
gratification of
yeah.
owning it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
you
have
can't
to wait till
with that
tomorrow.
deal, you can't beat it.
man. Well,
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll see. It is a very complicated mechanical device. And from what I have heard, their customer service is absolute garbage. So, fingers crossed that this thing works and continues to work forever.
See,
Because I really don't want to deal with that noise.
I've actually heard from most people that their customer service is pretty good. It's just a lot of their devices come like DOA or they break, and they do tend to stand by them. I think where Puffco goes wrong because they make some innovative shit. Nobody can deny that. Like the Cupsy thing and fucking all, they got so many other different ones. Um, I think it's just like their QC, their quality control shit coming out of the factory. Because there's no way like these like Mac went through hell with that proxy. I think he ended up getting 3 of them before he got one that
I
worked.
remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's their QC, man, because I've always said it. I think they make great products, but it's like the Cadillac of stuff. Like it's awesome when it works well, but you know dependability may be a slight issue.
For that
Feel that.
price, it should work all the time, period.
Well, hey,
Amen.
I'd be if somebody gave me that price on what you bought, I think I might roll the dice on one myself. And everybody knows I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest Puffco fan. Um, but for that
Well,
price, I really don't think you can
fuck
go
around and
wrong.
find out.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see what happens.
Well, I want to see it.
Guesses on how fast I break it.
No.
Think I can make it 6
Well,
months? Let's see.
I hope so. Just wanted to give a quick shout out too to BudFeed UK. We got a UK listener tonight. He says listening from across the pond.
Oh my
Hello,
goodness.
mate.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, friend.
Welcome to the shit show.
It's like Australian.
I would do
Eh,
like a blend of Australian, British, Irish, and South African. It would be horrible. You don't want to hear it. But yeah.
Well,
Welcome, man.
welcome. We're happy to have you. It
Yeah,
is
dude.
very early in the morning there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's got to be an insomniac, Brit. Hope maybe a grower too. I mean, it is all. They are all tent pirates, if I'm
hell
not
yeah.
mistaken, in the
Yeah.
UK.
Listen, a lot of growing's been going on a long time in the UK. Um, a long time, way before we even thought of legal market. But yeah, I think the laws are pretty strict over there. So those guys,
You,
I
you
mean,
got a license for that weed.
that was pretty good.
You got a license for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But that's how I imagine they would say coming into your house, like, "Excuse me, sir, we smelled some cannabis from across the street. You got a license for that? If you could produce the paper, I mean, yeah, I do. But man, yeah, no, welcome. We're happy to have you here, friend. And he says he's smoking on I forget what he said, man. It was something British. Fish and chips, for fuck's sake.
Fish and chips.
It's got to be a strain name over there, right?
When you think British weed, what strain do you think of first?
For me, it's the fuck was it? Now I can't remember. There was a strain Mephisto came out with a while back, and
Oh yeah, it was that
Jammy
livers.
Dodgers.
no,
Livers.
that one
Uh,
too. But the cut. It was a photo to autocross, and the photo was they referred to it as prison weed. Somebody can chime in. I'm fucking drawing a blank.
He says cheese. He
Yep,
says
she's
cheese.
definitely. I think
Cheese.
Yeah.
Stardog too.
But
Is
isn't cheese the
from the
same
UK.
as livers? If they're just like they were called
That's
different
what it
things in
was.
different
That's what it
different
was.
regions.
Livers. It was the livers.
Yeah,
So
livers BX1.
yeah. So the sour
Super
livers.
stinky.
Yeah, super stinky. They called it. They referred to it as prison weed because it got people caught all the time.
So I think that's like what they called skunk number one because like skunks aren't native to Britain, are they, or are they not?
I don't know.
Confirm that for me. I don't know. Do you have skunks over there, buddy? So they didn't know what a skunk was, so they could only like identify that smell with super stinky cheese. You know what I mean? At least that's
Like
what
he
I
said
heard.
though,
the story
That's
you
what I
tell
read on
yourself.
the internet. But yeah, man.
well, it must be true if you read it on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. Must be true somewhere. But yeah, welcome. That's all I have to say. Happy to have you here. Let's talk a little grow, guys. You want to
Word.
get into the grow?
Yeah.
The Grojo? Like the dojo, but we're in the Grojo? No?
So I'm kind of interested to hear what you got going on. I know you're taking off soon. When are you leaving?
I got a vacation in less than 2 weeks, dude. So like that is an issue I'm dealing with right now is that I poorly planned. Remember when G3 was yelling at me for like you should have flipped 2 weeks ago? Like
Yeah.
I should
Which
have.
time?
Yeah. Well, this last time.
This is the last one.
Just this last time. I
Not
should
the time
have
before that when you went on vacation. Or the
Not
time
that
before
last
that
time,
when
yeah.
you were going on vacation either.
But
This one.
this one in particular, it's not that bad. Like, I think I have a solution, but I'll lay out the scenario. So, like, I got 4 plants. They're on day 58 of flower today. I'm leaving in 2 weeks, 10 days, let's say, for 5 days. And like if I had my way, I would likely harvest them during those 5 days that I'd be gone because they're not quite done. They're like just they're kind of still bulking up a little bit, but they're fading. They're doing their thing, and they'll be ripe in like less than 2 weeks, truly. But I'll be gone in that window. So it's like, do I take them early? Do I wait? Take them a little bit late? Like, how do I play this?
Any way you can have somebody come and shut the lights off and just let them sit there for a day or two in the darkness?
So that's what I'm gonna do myself, I think. Ultimately, like, I've done times where like I've left my plants for in the dark for 72 hours before harvest anyway, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
Where we just like turn the lights off and we give them the like, you know, sensory deprivation treatment for a little bit. Produce the fear terpene, like G3 said.
Blech.
And
You can
the
keep your meat hurt and your fear
it's
terps and your
it's a
truck
thing,
stop terps.
thing people do, but
I'll
I
go a day or
figured
two. I don't think 70. I think 72 might be pushing it a tad, but
I
um,
figured I could just extend that time period. Like, just if
I don't think
if
at
I'm
the
be
at,
gone for
at the end of the
five
day,
days,
I don't
what's the
think it's gonna
difference?
fucking make a huge difference, really.
So I was gonna turn the lights off before I left and just leave them in the dark for 5 days straight.
I think that's a little. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that personally.
5
5 days.
days. No, you wouldn't do it that long. Just like
No,
keep it
that's
cold and dark for 5 days.
Any way that like the sister-in-law or Rare Orange maybe come by and
yeah.
shut it
Where's
off,
Rare Orange?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I could
or
arrange that.
or I have a good idea. If you get a smart plug with that can handle the amperage, you plug your light into that and you just turn it off yourself.
What do
Fucking
you mean, like
from wherever the fuck you
from
are.
like Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Wait, don't you have the AC Infinity controller?
No,
He doesn't have the
no.
pro.
No, I don't
Oh,
have. I don't have even the one like that runs on Bluetooth. It's those old school controller 69s.
Bro, you could solve this issue for about $20.
Okay,
Wi-Fi
with a
plug.
smart
Maybe a little
plug,
bit more.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
smart plug.
Probably
I like
something
that
probably
idea.
more because, fucking everything's gone up and you don't want to buy a piece of shit for this. You want something reliable, dependable that you know is going to handle the current of how much lighting you get running there? Like 900 watts?
No, not anymore. Remember, I had those like three different lights. That's what you're thinking of, but
Oh,
it's a 720
yeah, you'd be fine on a smart
watt.
plug with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
how
So
many plants do you have in there?
4 plants G3, and it's packed to the gills. That 5x5
How big's
with
your res?
I got 20 gallons, 25 gallons, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay,
I
should be
just,
okay.
I think like if I just left them, I have the lights turned down right now. Okay, like that's one of the things I did as soon as I realized this timing situation was gonna clash. It's
That
like,
will speed them up a little bit.
well, I figured I would want to slow them down because at first I was like, I think I can just overshoot it. I don't want to take them too early because these things, some of them, I do think I have like the slower phenos, which are projected to be like done around 10, even 11 weeks. So I want to give them time to finish, but
Hmm.
I also like, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna harvest when I come back, and it'll be like their last week of life when I'm gone. Because I just didn't want them to be drying when I was away. I feel like that's my most vulnerable point in the grow is that like first couple days of the dry. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you got to kind
Mm-hmm.
of monitor things, definitely.
Especially as a home grower with not the most precise HVAC equipment and in the summertime in the Northeast. Like it's hot, it's humid. I don't have central air. So it's a process. I gotta be there to babysit it a little bit.
Hmm.
It's not something I could ask the sister-in-law to like, yo, can you come over 8 times a day and make sure the Jimmy rigged portable air conditioner in my basement's blowing cold air into the bottom of that grow tent in there. Like that's really important to me. Be like, are you fucking insane? Like
Yes,
It,
who
yes,
who
we
yeah,
are.
who married into this family?
yeah. I bet you they're pretty thankful when you break out the dank.
Well, it's I can always use that, right? That's always the ultimate like ace in the sleeve. Like, well, you sure do enjoy my weed, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the get out of jail
That's
free card.
Indeed,
I do
indeed.
what I want.
yeah. It's like otherwise you'd be going to the dispo. No one wants that. You got to help me trim. You got to help me do all my tasks when I'm away. It's tough being a first mate. Mm.
So you're gone in 10 days and you're gone for 5 days?
Hmm.
So
Well, like
15 total?
6. Let's just call it a week. Like, and what would you guys do? Like,
What do your trichomes look like? Are they
I
totally
literally
clear?
just took a picture today. They are
Sweet.
10%. I'd say 20% clear still. Maybe
So
25. Like
when
most of them are
you
cloudy.
the day you
No
Oh.
leave,
rain.
how old will that? How many days in flower will those plants be in the day you leave?
The day I leave, it'll be like 66 days.
Yeah, I would
67.
I would have enough water to go in the res, and I would run them, at least another 4 or 5 days, and have
Yeah,
somebody shut
just
shut the light off. I think,
all
or
right.
even just come back, like an extra day or so.
Yeah,
I
an
don't think it's
extra
gonna.
day is not gonna like.
Yeah, because you're only gone 5 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6 at the
that when you
five
do
and
the
a
math,
half.
that checks out to me.
Word.
Just let him run.
And they're not drinking much like during that period anyway. It's just like
Yeah,
they're chilling.
Do you think dropping your
So
light intensity would help
yeah, they're
slow the process?
definitely not gonna drink as much.
Mitten
They might
says,
finish a
"Pull the
tad
picks up."
quicker. Well, some
I
stuff
will.
when they get lower light, that's a sign to them that it's the season's ending, and
Yep.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
they
Will
might
it
mature
slow the
quicker.
ripening process or will it trigger them to go faster? I
I
wonder
think
what the
that I
biological
well,
Not really sure,
to
G3.
me, in my
process is there.
opinion, at least from what I've experienced, I think it depends on the cycle of the plant. If it's in the beginning, I think it's gonna prolong things. Um, Especially with autos. Like I've tried many times flowering autos in 12-12, and they usually take a lot longer. Um, and so, eh, yeah. At his stage, I think it's going to help him mature a tad quicker and,
All right.
definitely
Mm.
drink a little less water.
So this is yesterday.
Ooh, that girl's
This is the
big.
full 10. Yeah, the front left is the outlier, Pheno.
What kind of rope are you
She's
using
huge.
there, Johnny?
What kind of what?
Kind of rope are you using to tie them bitches off
Oh,
with?
that's just it's like orange twine I got from Home Depot. It's just nothing
Perfect.
special. Just
And he pour it in a storm.
mm-hmm. Tying it around the lights as you can kind of see. It's not I wouldn't call it like precarious, but I also wouldn't like
Recommend it.
overload that sort of a thing or even recommend you doing it at home.
Hey, you got there. I'm kind of actually kind of impressed there. Yeah, it's not something I would recommend anybody do, but you pulled it
We
off. And
we all
Wow.
damn.
recall when I was debating whether or not I should put up the second trellis net.
Hmm.
Well, turns out the right answer was yes. I
It
should
always
have.
is.
There's never going to be a time when you like regret waste like at the very worst thing that could happen is you wasted $11.
Well, that's kind of the situation I'm in
That's it.
right now with that widow. So, outdoor, I did a bunch of prayer glue and a bunch of widow, and the widow never made it to the second layer of netting.
Oh yeah,
Luckily, it kind of supports itself. It's
because
just a
it's
stout.
an indica, yeah, a
It's
little
just super
squat
stout,
one.
and that the same thing happened indoors with it. I put up a second layer of netting, and it never both rows because it was just one room of widow. Both rows never hit the second row of netting. I'll get a video to show you guys. It's actually pretty
That
comical. I
is
laugh
funny.
every time I look at it.
Well, my plan with the nets was like the first is to spread it out during veg, and it accomplished that. I got wall to wall plant coverage, and then
Certainly did.
B, like the second trellis was supposed to just be for support, and if I would have placed that, literally right here in the middle, it would have been perfect in giving all these top buds that I'm now having to string up the support that they need. But
Some fat fucking buds though.
oh my god, dude, the one on the left is actually the one that doesn't need the support. She's got like thick ass stems too, but part of the problem is that the stems are super flimsy. It's one of the things that I'm dealing with. Must be a genetic thing. So this is the one of those black lungs. Beautiful plant, man. It's just fade starting right now, and yeah, just love the look of it. That bright green. And this is that Ram Scotty. And the
Which
Ram,
is a fun shape.
yeah,
Look at the
right.
pistols on that thing. Holy cow.
It just keeps shooting them out too. Like it's, I feel like this is the one that wants to go at least 10 and a half weeks. And this is the one that needs an awful lot of support too. But yeah, it's great. Really, really, I think, and I'm, you know, I'm, a, I suffer from recency bias a little bit too, where it's always like, you know, what I'm looking at currently is always like what I like the best sort of thing. This is Ram Scotty number 2, and
Did you
then
get
this is
any of
Black
those like
Lung number
super
2.
white phenos?
I think I got one. Yes. It's funny because the one that I showed you first, this one is the one that I think is no. This one I think is the white pheno, but it doesn't look white to you in the tent right now.
Is it just the
In
way
person,
the camera's interpreting it?
yeah. The colors and stuff aren't really coming through the right way,
Well,
and
it's just the
the
way cameras
fade.
work. Like I actually just learned this that they only have so many colors to choose
Yeah,
from when
this
you
one.
take a picture, so you're not going to get a 100% accurate representation with certain shit.
So if you actually look at this one, it's the leaves you're seeing that are purple. The actual bud is very white, and it has the terp profile that he's describing as the white pheno. But I don't know. It's all, they all look good to me. I just say that much. They all look really good. Like I gotta pat myself on the back a little bit for this run. You know, some of my finest work, if I do say so myself. Look at the frost rails on her, and
Yeah, it looks like you pushed her just hot enough to burn the tips a little bit, and looks good.
organic too, man. Gotta, you know, I've learned a thing or two over the last few years to really apply what I'm learning and push my plants bigger, better, all of the above. So thank you. And now I have to not fuck it up during my vacation and dry
This
to
is the most
coincide.
crucial part, in
Yep.
my opinion. It's the home stretch. You got this though.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I enjoy the pressure and the stress.
It's like chronic. You
You
go on
know,
vacation, you time the end of a grow for this.
I thought that I had it perfectly worked out, but it turns out that like I I just didn't flip in time. That was my one error.
What what would you say? Let's lie down on this couch, Captain. What would you
All right.
say is your biggest reason that you don't flip sooner? Like, what is it? You don't think they're quite big enough? Is it like what is it? I'm curious.
He still doesn't trust the stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I didn't have them to the point where I would have filled up the tent with them. But now like looking at them, they certainly would have filled up the tent, you know. I don't know. I feel like it's a fear of commitment a little bit. I may have been weaned from the bottle a little too soon, and there's some Freudian issues at play. I'm not really sure. No, I have no idea, man. Just I like the point in the grow where like they're they're all green, they're all uniform. They were like trellised out and like every branch was like perfect. That canopy, the canopy was perfect. I just didn't want to change, but I should have embraced the change. I don't know, man. I really don't. But
I
it's
think
coming back to bite me now. I'll tell you that much.
I think you could have been saved with the trellis net though, because you could have spread them out a little bit as they flipped the flower, and it might have bought you a little bit more space without the roast. But either way, you'd still be fucked by the vacay.
Yeah, it's just not like I just don't want them drying while I'm away. That's the predicament. But whatever. Like I'll
think
figure
you'll
it
be fine.
out. I think I'll just push them a little long.
Yeah.
They can chill in there. Look, the thing they are not like faded like my typical plants. If you could tell, like they're still very green, and they just started to like turn colors at the top. So I know they have at least another 2-3 weeks worth of like
Look, that's your
eating
typical Reddit
themselves.
picture. 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
People,
right.
like that's the biggest joke on Reddit when people. But that one there, that's like 2 more weeks.
Yeah, 2 more weeks, man. And they're they all smell fantastic. And then who knows what's next? Actually, we all know what's next. It's a joint custody grow along.
Let's do it. What do we
Tell
got?
us when.
Buckle up.
Yeah, when? We're still
Well,
waiting.
When's it
we
happen?
gotta get him on the show. I know that's still like actually it's in
I-
October. So
Yeah, October. So he's gonna come on sometime in October and talk all about that.
I'll do some autos in the meantime. Actually, I think we all discussed some breeding projects that we wanted to get started.
Oh,
And
goodness.
that's what
Throw
I'll
that
be
right out there, why don't you?
dedicating. Well, it's exciting, honestly. Like, and it got me like a little bit motivated to like go through my massive seed collection and like figure out what pairs with what in kind of a weird, unique way.
Yeah?
So I've been
Anything
doing
good?
some thinking myself.
Oh, a lot of good stuff, but I don't
What
want
do you
to
got?
give away the goat just yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why,
What about
Doc?
one of your tell us something that you considered and then like we're like, nah.
I mean, like, there's so many options, G3. Like, first, you have to kind of think of what you're looking for. Like, we've talked to so many breeders that like you have to have a vision before you create something. Like, what do you want, and then how can I get there is kind of the next step. Like, what ingredients can I use to create this dish? I got a lot of ingredients in my bin right now. So I honestly can't like say anything specific yet. It's just, I can say it's just got me excited to go through what I have and start a new project and use my tent for something new now. Something that I haven't really gotten into yet, but I've been meaning to. So,
Yeah. Are you gonna pheno hunt?
mm,
Or are you just gonna like take a
no,
seed
I'm gonna
and pick a
pollen
seed?
chuck.
Yeah.
I don't have the space, the time, the patience for that kind of shit. No, I'm gonna pollen chuck. I'm not gonna sell anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a breeder.
No, we're not breeders.
No, I have way too many fucking close friends that do that shit to ever
Yeah.
wanna. Like,
Yeah.
why would I need to? There's just
No, I'm not gonna test them at all. And like that's I'll give them away to Patreons.
Patreon, sure.
Friends of the show, whoever wants them, family. Like, seriously, it'll just be nice to have like some of my own creations too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like there's no if I'm not charging money, so I'm not doing any testing. I feel like that's kind of a thing that that's what people charge money for ultimately, is the fact that like they did a lot of testing. And if they didn't do a lot of testing and they're still charging money, like I got some issues with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuz really, what did you do?
We talked about
Nothing.
this morning on the Discord. That shit fucking drives me nuts, man. Um, to say that your shit is superior enough that you don't need testers is fucking ridiculous. Um, I don't care how much you test that shit in in your environment. That's cool, but generally speaking, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you even did that if you're not sending shit out to other people to grow it out and test it in their environment. I'm all set with anything you got, man. That's just that's where I'm going with that. The group of breeders that we have in our community has plenty to choose from. Plus, look, I got a backlog of shit that I've been acquiring for a long time. I mean, there's no need to spend your money on shit that's not tested when you have so many other there's
Yeah.
just better options out there. Like,
Well, you could like message someone who needs testing done too, and like volunteer for that task. If you really want to grow untested gear, you can do it for free
mm,
as kind of a guinea pig for an actual breeder who needs testing done. There's a little bit of a beautiful symbiosis there. So you don't have to pay for untested stuff ever, because people are giving that stuff away
You do have
to,
to do a little work for it. A little
yeah,
bit.
well, sometimes, yeah.
You do have to test them.
Take pictures and actually test. Yeah, that's one of the things too, G3. It depends what the breeder's looking for in terms of testing. That's one of the things, like what do we mean when we say testing? Right? Like
There's two different meanings.
do
And it
do
depends on
we
how big the breeder is.
do we just mean like they grew a bunch of the plants? They tested them? Like how many seeds do you need to pop to call it a tested strain?
in my opinion, at least a fucking couple dozen. At least see if they pop right and run through a few of them. I mean, what the fuck? And then have other people do the same shit and get feedback from them. How are they growing? Like, what type of lighting are they using? Is I mean, generally speaking, everybody's using LED these days, and there are some others that may use you know HID or whatever. But environment means a lot. Some people don't even fucking monitor their environment. They just grow with whatever it is, type of shit. There's a lot. Like, how does it perform that way?
I think for me, it's not about how many seeds are popped, but about what you do with those seeds that you do pop. Like, are you temperature testing? Like, extreme variations in temperature throughout the flowering cycle. Like, what if somehow the temperature reaches 105 degrees one day for 12 hours? God forbid, right? What if the opposite end reaches 55 degrees for a whole day during flower? Like, have you tested that? How about humidity? The huge swings that can occur throughout everyone's different environments out there. Like,
Yeah.
the beginners that just start, that don't know how to control their environment, even yet. Like,
How
that,
about
so,
this one here? Nobody's even mentioned. Badger come up with this one.
boom.
When
Oh,
you know,
Patcher.
How you doing,
indoor
Badger?
and outdoor, like, right, and you're gonna have some variations there, right? Some plants don't perform well either or. So,
Mm-hmm.
Got to be
um,
done, yeah, indoor and outdoor. If you, I feel like these are kind of things that need to be communicated too. Like, if you know all the testing was done indoors, like, I would like to know that. Then
yeah.
maybe I wouldn't grow
Generally
that one
speaking, you're not going to
outdoors,
get too many that are
or
able
vice
to do
versa.
to do both. But it would be nice if you could. Not
Isn't
always
that all part of
possible.
that like triploid train wreck that happened? Was They're like, yeah, we did thousands of seeds. We grew them all outdoors in a big field, in the same farmer, in the same conditions. It's like, well, that's not
That's not
like
testing.
that's not testing. Like that's just growing a bunch of seeds in a field. That's kind of, that's what I'm trying to, like, what do we mean? I feel like this needs to be, what are the laws of testing seeds, for Christ's sake?
I think we could sit here for hours and talk about all the different ways you could test seeds, but I think it's just a matter of having it in more than one person's hands is a good start. Um, and more than two. I mean, you know what I mean. At least a few different people grow that thing out and report back, and then yourself as well. I mean, you can't just count on testers to give you feedback. I think you should be able to at least grow a few of those out yourself, and then pop a shitload of them and see what the germination rate is. Um, that's a big thing that
That's a
people
big part of
overlook.
testing.
You know, because sometimes no matter how good the shit is, it just doesn't pop right. And I don't know the reasoning behind that. I haven't done enough research, but um,
I think ILYF Gardens says it perfectly that diversity of environments is key.
exactly. And
It's all
that you
about,
achieve
yeah,
that by getting into people's fucking hands.
amen. And we want salt growers, organic growers, people with LED lights, people with metal halides, people who grow indoors, people who grow outdoors, overwaterers, underwaterers.
Beginners, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are gonna fuck shit up.
You
And
really want some testing done? Yeah.
it just so happens that beginners love free seeds. So I mean, who doesn't love free seeds? But I mean, those are the guys that are usually looking. They'll be more willing to accept free gear than anybody else. I want that stuff in new growers' hands because those are the guys that are going to make the most mistakes, right? And it sure would be extremely interesting to me if everybody reported positive feedback and the newbie gave me negative feedback, and I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. And then I would, at least if I was the breeder, I would say, look, just make sure you keep everything under control under normal conditions. She's fine. If you stress her, you may see a couple of balls, type of thing, right? Because that's that's the type of shit you might hear from a
Yeah.
newbie. Oh, it
Mhm.
fucking hermed everywhere on me. Oh, well, what did you do? Um, I tend to look at the grower first when I hear about herms. I mean, look, you're gonna get shit with every other different breeder. I think the possibilities there for everybody's gear to do it. The more they test and the more selective they are, the less likely you are going to see
Mm-hmm.
that shit under any circumstance. I mean, dude,
Truth.
joint custody did that grow where he left the fucking tent open the
Yeah, dude,
whole.
that's what I keep thinking of when I hear that. Like when I
Mhm.
hear people complain about, like, yeah, their stuff hermed from this and that and this slight thing and that. It's like, man, I know a guy who's like testing his stuff with like growing with a tent not even sealed at all. You know what I mean? Like with extreme light leaks, and their plants are unaffected by it.
Mhm.
It can
Mhm.
be done, you know. But I wanted to just bring up real quick. Judas says people who torture their plants professionally can, like, we could have like professional seed testers out there with like, you know like bondage devices for plants and all sorts of like depraved setups to like
Meat hooks.
meat hooks, and that's what I'm thinking of, like the rack for plants, something like that. Like we
Oh my
stretched her
God,
out.
get a therapist.
I just choked on my water. Oh,
Like
that was great.
someone should do that on Instagram. Just like, I can torture plants better than anyone. You want stress testing? You come to me. I stress plants out more than anybody.
Oh, that's fucking great.
It'd be funny. So yeah, what do you? I mean, I didn't mean to take up the whole grow segment with my
No, I want to know what Monster's looking at in his vault and thinking of throwing together. Any ideas yet?
It's funny. I've been thinking about all the shit I have, right? And the the thing I keep going back to is pure Michigan, and here's why. It's one of the most either love it or hate it strains I've ever grown. The people that like it just can't get enough of it, and the people that hate it fucking hate it. And I love bringing that to friends' houses and seeing the split between people like, dude, that's offensive to some people. They don't even want to smoke it. So, with that being said, I had a goal in mind is to because the effects from that to me are second to none. Like it's put you on your ass weed. I don't give a fuck who you are. It just knocks you out. So my intentions would be to bring those effects over with some of the flavor to something that gives you a little bit more gas. I haven't decided
Nice.
exactly the route I'd like to take to get there because, quite frankly, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need to. I'm a grower, not a breeder, and I'll
Right, I
never
have no
profess.
Yeah,
idea.
no,
You know, so
that's exactly it, dude.
I need to do a little bit more research and talk to some friends of ours and kind of see where I want to go with that. But that's where my head keeps going back to. Now, being a stoner, and I change my mind on shit all the time. That's just what I'm thinking now. It could fucking change. Who the fuck
Yep.
knows? You know?
As a stoner with ADHD, I change my mind 1,000 times a minute.
Yeah. You know. So but we've been gnawing this over. We all brought this up in a group chat last week, and each time that's just what I keep going back to. So as of right now, if you put a gun to my head, that's probably what I'd end up doing. But who the fuck knows?
Remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And anything you got in mind, G3, off the top of your head? Or
I wonder what could G3 possibly want
oh,
to
you
grow?
told us mango,
Yes.
mango
So
madness,
spiteful mango.
Nobody was surprised.
spiteful mango.
Nobody was surprised at all.
Nobody
No,
was
all
surprised.
I know is I
Not
want.
even G3.
I have like an ending goal in mind. Like I don't know what I want to combine. All I know is I want it to be called the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Then
Yeah,
Wasn't that the ship that sank?
that's
Is that what I'm
right.
thinking about? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, because it'll get you wrecked. That's
my
that's what it's. We're gonna do a whole shipwreck series. I'll have like the Lusitania, the Titanic. We'll do it all.
I kind of really like that a lot.
Yeah, all right.
It is like kind of a brilliant theme. You're a
Makes sense.
captain,
It's
gets
fitting
you
for
wrecked.
you.
It's just
It'll
like
get you
dead
wrecked.
ships.
Mm.
Just love that. It's
Ships
very
that have
clever.
sunk.
That's very clever.
I'm glad you saved that for now because it wouldn't be as funny if I'd already heard it.
Yeah, I mean that's just like what I had in mind. When I right? Isn't that a great song, Mitten?
It is.
From
Yeah.
who sings that again?
It's a folk song now.
Gordon Lightfoot,
Ah.
Canadian.
Eh?
Really good, man. But yeah, what a sad, like tragic event too. I don't mean, I don't mean to make light of it in any way, but like I mean to commemorate such a thing with a fantastic strain of cannabis.
At this point, if anybody's offended by that, then they're listening to the wrong show.
My granddaddy was on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Like
Smoke one
I'm
for the
sorry,
people on
I
the Edmund
didn't
Fitzgerald.
know,
Yeah.
but like, hey man, it's I thought it was kind of a good idea. No one's done that. Don't take my idea. It's patented. You heard it here first. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it like next week too, and you know it's gonna happen.
Yep. Just by default.
God damn it! You can't copyright strain names, can you?
No.
As is obvious by everybody calling things the same names who have nothing to do with each other.
Monsanto had it their way, it'd be different.
Dude, I didn't even see it. Strong Island says the Exxon Valdez. Fucking gas
That's a good one,
terps.
too. That's a good one, too. I like it. Great suggestion.
Crude oil terps.
Ugh. Meaty crude
Oh my
oil
god,
terps.
dude. That's funny, man.
Yeah, too funny.
Oil spill terps.
Spilled. That was like the. Oh man, I remember those. It just brings back awful memories of like the videos of that. It was terrible. Made you never want to buy gas again.
If everybody stopped buying gas from Exxon and Mobil, maybe the gas prices would go down a little bit. But collectively, nobody will. Those
That was the.
cocksuckers. They fucking rule the stock market, man. Highest prices around too. I can't. I always laugh when I see people at a fucking mobile
What are
station.
you paying for gas up in Massachusetts now?
So
For
everywhere around me is like 3.45, 3.55 a gallon. If I go to like the nearest, I hate to even call it like big city, I can get it for like 2.88.
damn, that's cheap, dude.
Yeah, but
Whoa.
everywhere,
288.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Speedway. Shout out to Speedway.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
that's cheap as
So
fuck,
it
boy.
is cheap as fuck. But everywhere else is like 3.25 to 3.45 on average. Um, Dude, my neighbor's dogs don't shut the fuck up. Is the mic picking that up at all?
No,
Just a
we can't
little
hear him at
bit.
I
all.
love
I
Just a
like
dogs,
little.
dude. I really
barely.
do, but I can't stand these fucking
It's
dogs.
always
All
the
they
neighbor's dogs, dude.
they
Why?
don't shut the fuck up. All they do is bark. I have on the other side of me, I have neighbors with roosters, and those don't even bother me that much. I kind of just laugh. They got a baby one, dude. Have you ever heard a baby rooster? I never have. It's the funniest sound ever, dude. It's like the highest pitch fucking cockadoodle doo, and it's just, like the thing's struggling. It's funny as fuck.
Like the
But
rooster's voice hasn't changed yet.
they don't bother me at all. The dogs do though. And dude, they just bark at Zelda, and she just like looks at him like she doesn't even bark back. She just looks at him like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" Like seriously. Like, ah,
That
yeah,
sweet dog Zelda just looks
yeah.
at him like, "What are you guys doing? You guys are crazy." But yeah, no, I think breeding would be not again, not breeding, but pollen chucking would be a cool way just to pop some seeds that I never really intended to pop for any other reason. To be quite honest, like I have a bunch of stuff with there's just one of that. You're like, what are you supposed to do with that, except just like maybe make its children. You know, there's only one more of it. I feel obligated to like
Carry on the
carry
gene.
on the lineage, you know, in some capacity. So, you know, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens, man.
Definitely not breeding though. Breeding implies some sense of responsibility.
Yeah, it does. It
This is just
does.
completely reckless and fun. And
Absolute
we're gonna figure some shit
reckless
out.
abandon.
Fuck around and find out, you know?
Gonna come up with funny names and it'll be all meme names and
It'll
strain
be
names.
great. I do have a question, and maybe there's a valid answer to this, and maybe there isn't. How does a breeder choose which strain to be the mother and which one to be the father? And why? Does it matter?
I think that's
They're
in the
both
eye of the beholder, right?
they're
I mean,
both carrying on the genes, right? They both get 50% of the
So that
whole kit and caboodle. So
I
does it
can't
matter?
answer that for you, but I have to
I need
believe
a breeder. Where's the breeder?
well, I think
genetics
I think
combine in the weirdest ways. G3, like
I think the females it more into the
could be
eye of the
different for
beholder.
each strain.
A lot of people I've heard with the males, they want to select the one that fucking holds its pollen the longest. There's a lot of people that say that with males, right? So I don't know, man. I mean,
Or the ones that are not frosty. I've heard that too. We don't want frosty males because that's a feminine trait.
interesting. Yeah, see, I'm not sure.
Like you
Just
want the
be 100%.
manliest men
Yeah,
and the most feminized females. I don't know. Makes sense to me, but there's definitely a secret sauce to breeding. Like genetics combine in the weirdest ways. I just watched some video that explained how like you're only related to the previous 7 generations, even in your own genetic line, right? Like all your ancestors going back thousands of years, you only contain like a sliver of genetic information from like 7 generations back. Less than 1%. It's like past that generation, there's literally, it's you and any other human on planet Earth. You share 0.0 genetic information with your eighth generations back ancestor and 8 generations forward. Isn't that crazy? Like even in your own family, you're only related to 7 generations back.
Well, I mean, it does make sense because I mean, what's the percentage of that? 7 generations back?
I mean, yeah, think of all the ancestors you have 7 generations back.
Right. So
But it's
this
like,
one dude, 7 generations back, is among however many. I have to find out the math
yeah, I
on
don't know.
that now.
Do the
Fucking
math.
A.
Like two times two
Fucking
times
Badger's
two
killing me,
times
dude.
two, and it's it.
That's someone who wanted to sleep with their eighth cousin.
That's. I'm not giving you an excuse right there, Badger, but at the same time, I think I am.
Has anybody even met their eighth cousin? I I can't. Do you know what I mean? But either way, that's pretty funny.
I don't think generations go that quickly where you could like. I mean, I think that at the most you might meet your great grandchildren. You know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
you met your great grandmother when you were 2, or something like that, or
Mm.
when you were a kid. You know,
Yeah,
but
so it's just about 1% if you go 7 generations back.
yeah,
1% of you
yeah,
comes from that particular person. That's not very
it's
much.
not very much at all. Isn't that? It's just wild to think about genetics in that way and just how. I'm not really even sure what got me thinking about it, but you asked a question about how they combine and stuff, and it's like people don't know. Like literally, like what information comes from what side of the family, and in what way. It's all different, and like certain information can pop back up generations down the line when like you would least expect it. You know what I mean? And like this distant ancestor is like someone that you're actually the closest to in your genetic line for whatever reason. It just reemerges. I don't know. It's genetics be weird like that.
Hmm.
So it'll be fun to tinker with.
Yep. Whole lot of fucking around finding out because I'm coming into this with very little knowledge
I
about
got.
it in general.
I,
So,
I think I have a new intention. I'm gonna breed something that will fucking knock my neighbor's dogs out. Um, I'm just gonna
Blow it in their face.
throw edibles over the fucking fence, man. Jesus Christ! And I love dogs, man, but that's it. When you just sit like it's literally driving me nuts. I just yelled out the window. I don't fucking care. When you let your dogs bark at fucking 10 o'clock at night, 10:50, we're approaching 10:15, and they just sit there and bark and
Bark
bark and
and
bark and
bark.
bark. Like, dude, if my
I
dog barks every now and then, I bring her in as soon as I hear her barking. Like it means she wants to come in, like, or she saw a fucking cat or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Dude, so all right,
ugh.
I got neighbors, right? If you want to talk about dogs barking and neighbors, at least yours will bring them in. Mine will go out and just start yelling at them, which the
No,
dogs
he
interpret
won't.
as just more barking.
That's the thing though, is they
So,
don't bring them in. They just leave them
oh
out to
shit! All
fucking
right.
bark and bark and bark and bark and bark, and they're because they must have act like a doggy door or something because they just come out whenever the fuck they want. They come in and out. Dude, like I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes to fucking go to work or whatever, and those fucking dogs are barking at 3 in the morning. They just don't stop. Anytime I go in my fucking driveway, they come running out, dude, and they got the same size plot of land I do, maybe even bigger, way over a half an acre. the dogs just run to this side, like the far end of their fucking
You'd
property.
think they'd get used to you, man.
Ah, man. Nope, they don't shut the fuck up, and it really is getting on my nerves
Well,
now,
bring them
man.
a peace offering, you know, a little homemade doggy treat with some pure Michigan in it.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about just throwing it over the fence. Some hamburger or something with some fucking edibles. Yeah, shut the fuck up now, won't you? But
That'd be funny.
yeah, and it wouldn't hurt
Your
them.
neighbor
They just
come like, what did you give my dogs? Because
I gave
I
the dogs
need some
anything.
of that. I've been wanting to shut up for a long time. How did you do that?
What can I
We do
say?
not
You're a
recommend
genius.
poisoning dogs with
Yeah,
cannabis.
as the
Yeah,
G3 is the vet, we
I
should
would use I
consult
They
wouldn't
with
use
do
the
her.
word
have
poison.
higher level metabolism, so smaller amounts can affect them greater. And it can
They can.
causes increased heart rate and some other issues, and it can be scary for them.
We were
Z-
just we were
Zelda ate a
just
roach and got really fucked up
just
once.
joking, of course.
Yes, of course.
We would never medicate dogs without the, you know, supervision of a professional
Yep. Thank God I'm a fucking professional.
or CBD. Isn't that what we want to use
No,
anyway?
I wouldn't do that honestly, but the thought of it sounds good.
Badger says
Oh,
CBD
I
only.
wouldn't
Yes,
really do it, Badger.
CBD you can use on your
No,
pets.
I wouldn't do that. If somebody gave my dog food without me knowing, I'd fucking kill him.
Oh,
So,
yes, don't do it to somebody else's dog. But
Oh
if
yeah.
you have a dog that
yeah.
happens to bark a lot or is stressed out or anxious, it might be something you'd like to discuss with your vet.
There's options for that, but you don't want to be the guy medicating other people's dogs at the
No,
No,
park.
please don't do that.
no. I talk these things out because talking them out
I made a
is
special
is
treat
better,
for
you know?
you.
Yeah. Come here, you little bastard. That's good, isn't it?
You're like a doggy pedophile.
Yeah.
Got candy for you. Get in the van. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my
What are you
god.
doing?
A very dark turn.
I didn't mean it literally. I just meant like no, geez. I meant like behaving as such a thing. Like trying to talk to people's dogs at the park and that sort of thing. Yeah, that
Cuddle
came
that
out bad
dog.
though. It came out real bad. It's getting late, guys. It's getting late. We should pack it up. I think that's the sign.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to get into a garden before we go.
Oh, and actually, shit, I promised something tonight on the show for that. I have the beans for the next Patreon drop.
Oh, word.
So, there's also a special surprise coming from a different breeder, eventually. But I wanted to get these out to you guys right away. So, I have a package here from Outcast Genetics. Shout out to Outcast.
Nice.
Yay,
What up,
Outcast.
Hell of a
Outcast?
guy.
Such a
And
good guy.
Isn't he coming back on?
Reader.
Yep, he's coming back on as
Good.
well.
Good.
If not next week, the week after, I have it written down. I fucking totally forgot. But he sent me a mixture of we have pineapple stomper here. We have Lucky Punch. We have take my glasses off here. Mythical Midnight.
Ooh.
Some more Lucky Punch. Pineapple Stomper.
That one, I gotta
Jungle.
say, it's gone out of my stash. You know it was
How long
Jungle.
did that last?
Jungle Berry
How
Cookies.
not
long?
long.
Jungle Berry Cookies. And Mythical Midnight. So I have a mixture of all those. I haven't quite decided how they'll be divided out. That's where I want to hear from you guys. Would you rather all one of all the same bean, a mixture of everything? And it's not going to be like different for everybody. It's going to be a majority rules thing, whatever I hear the most back. Because, look, I mean, I'm a fucking stoner. I have a hard enough time
I wish
keeping
we
track
could
of all this.
customize 60 different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to hear back from you guys. Do you want a mixture of I think there's 4 or 5 different strains here, or do you want all of the same?
Okay.
So, yeah.
I
Let me
think
know.
I honestly think variety packs would be cool, but then
That's
you
kind of
don't
the way
really
I'm
know
leaning.
what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. That's true. That's kind of the way I'm leaning. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, we know what's in them at the very least. Like, we know it's pineapple stomper. It's
Hmm.
what'd you say? I forget the other ones, but
Yeah,
we know what's in
Mythical
there.
Midnight, Jungleberry cookies. Um, is that what it is? Jungle cookies.
So it's like
Yep.
four
Lucky
or five
Punch.
different strains, right?
Yeah, Lucky Punch, Pineapple Stomper.
I honestly
Then,
think that'd be fun to like try to figure out what they are from like you
oh
at
no,
least have
I
a
think I'd have to
pool.
tell you what they are. I would definitely tell you what they are, but
Well, if you gave away like a mix pack
mm,
and they're just
that's
unlabeled
another
beans
option
at that
altogether.
point,
I just
No,
fucking
don't
throw
do
everything.
that. Oh my god, that
why
would make
not?
my brain angry.
But
No,
we at
because
least
like
know what there's like six to choose from. That could be pretty easy in all honesty, especially with the help of the breeder.
right, but what if you like want to
I,
grow something specific and then you're like,
Uh,
"Oh, I've
yeah,
got these random beans to choose from. What if I choose the wrong one?"
yeah. I think
true.
if we did the variety method, I'd have to let him know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaning towards like exactly what G3 is saying, but for some reason, the cap idea, it's it sounds kind of wild and fucking zany. You know what I'm saying? Might be some fun.
Could
Um,
be fun.
if I just take all these beans and mix them together in a big fucking bowl, and luck of the draw, like fucking, you get an outcast fucking,
You get an
you know,
Outcast variety
fruit
pack.
salad.
Yeah, dude. And then like
Isn't that what
we
Night Owl does with like his owl pellets or whatever?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he
he
gives you
breeders
and
do
that's
that
like
because they don't know what seed it is. Like this, a lot of times
well cuz they do like an open pollination sort of thing.
yeah, or seeds get mixed up, and it happens a lot, man. Fisher, you got this huge table, and or you have the seed sorter thing that people use with the vacuum, and fucking seeds just pop out everywhere, like scoop them off the floor or whatever. I mean, seeds are pretty durable. I've found seeds that, like, God knows how long they were sitting on my floor, and tried to pop them, and they've popped. So, who the fuck knows?
Well, again, it's up to our Patreons. I'm just shooting out ideas,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's
I
like we
kind
can
of
do however you want. So,
I'm leaning towards G3 with that would hurt my brain, but for some reason it does sound semi intriguing.
It is just it's chaos. It's fun chaos, but I
it'd be
think less
chaos,
people
I know.
I think
are
yeah,
apt to pop them.
I agree with you there. I think less people
I like to
would
know
like that.
what I
Yeah,
have for sure.
yeah.
I'm you know, more info is better as a grower type guy.
A variety would be fun, but they would have to be in vials labeled.
That's
I
the
could,
plan.
All right, word.
That's the
yeah.
plan. So,
Cool. Well,
I kind of knew this was happening for a little while. I didn't want to make an announcement to people until the beans were in my hands. Outcast was nice enough to really take care of us here.
Thank you, Outcast.
So,
Such a killer
nice.
yeah,
dude.
yep.
That's
And
awesome.
then like I said, there's a surprise coming from a separate breeder as well. People that listen to the show might already know who we're talking about, but I'm not going to give anything away 100%.
Exciting.
So, it should be fun.
Exciting.
We appreciate you guys. Listen, I'm just going to be 100% upfront here. I know we're behind on bean shipments, and it's not something that we're really true proud of, but it's not always the easiest acquiring these seeds. We have a lot of help from a lot of cool fucking friends, but
Hmm.
it's not always as simple as you might think. So, we love you guys.
Yeah,
I hope this
we
being
appreciate
dropped
y'all.
shows you how much we love you guys. I'm gonna make sure it's special.
Yeah, thank you for sticking with us, and that's why this one's going to be super cool.
Absolutely. So, yeah, let's go to. What do you think about
Good.
a?
Well, you know what? I might want to save it. Actually, you know what? Nah, we can get in there real quick.
Good, no, not.
Plus, I do see him in the chat, so
Okay.
why not? Right? We can ask him questions live. Here, we'll bring up our raid music real quick. And then We are in the garden of PB Grows.
Yay!
PB.
What up,
I'm
dude?
pretty sure he's a masshole.
That's right. He's PBS Masshole is his garden name. A proud masshole. Well, I want to go up a little bit because I did see something really cool. The man grows carrots in his
Nice.
tent.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Isn't that cool?
Really cool.
So keep that in mind as we look at his plants here.
That's a bushy gal.
All right, nice cabbage pheno. Looks like what is that like a trash bag you're using as like an artificial mulch? That's a cool idea. Cheap, effective. I like it. Looks like he's doing a organic methodology. If I could just, I kind of see it when I see it.
Yeah, that
It
definitely looks like he's got some sort of organic setup there.
looks like the carrots then are at like the bottom of that pot in the same pot as the cannabis.
That's
It's
fucking
really
sick.
cool, man. Isn't that awesome? Like
Yeah.
I want to do this now. Like why haven't I been doing this? Is my question.
That's the question. Yeah, yeah. Why
I
haven't
got
we?
9-gallon pots. I could get massive carrots. How long do they take to mature? Is my question.
That is a.
Maybe
That's a
he'll
great
answer
question.
us. We'll see. We'll see. But in any
What
case,
is that? Is that what's the red I'm seeing there?
so that's what I was talking about. I think that's a plastic bag that he cut and is using as like an artificial mulch layer on top of the soil to
Yeah.
like keep it super moist. Like he does have what appears to be straw underneath, like a little bit, but he's using a little bit. Yeah, like he says it's a Target bag. Right? Like that shit works, man. You just rip a bag and lay it on top.
I love
Prevents
it.
excess evaporation. Like we use what we got, man.
Hey, and you're fucking reusing something that's gonna get thrown in the
And
trash anyway. That's awesome.
he's got like reusing stuff. A little bit of leaf litter. When you pluck some leaves off the plant, you throw it under the bag. You let that stuff just kind of like become mulch, as it were.
Comes one again. The plant.
Very cool.
Chunky, chunky, chunky.
Yeah, he's getting. As we can see this one chonking up too. Getting
So
green.
many
What's this?
tops.
Did we
Right, I
find out
know.
how long the carrots take? I'm just
He
curious.
says 54 days they take.
54
by the
days.
way, yeah, 54 days to mature. So you
How do you
can.
know when the carrots mature? Like you don't check the trichomes. Somebody fucking like it's
Yeah, that's a good
underground.
question.
Are they all 50? Is that just a rule of thumb? Like you go 55, 60 days and you pull the bitch out of the ground? Can yeah,
It's like the
no.
lottery.
I don't. I'll be
How
honest
big is
with
the
you.
carrot?
Can't check
Yeah.
the trichomes on a carrot.
Yeah, that's a clip.
You know what's so
Like,
funny is like if it doesn't follow the rules of growing cannabis, I do not know how to grow it.
that's so funny, G3. You say that. Like, it. Every plant is so specific in how to grow it, like properly. You really have to know the plant itself to know how to grow it. That's the first thing. You know what I mean?
So he chimed in. He looks for the stems coming out of the ground.
Okay. I love it, man. I'm gonna grow fucking onions,
Yeah,
any
how about
kind
some
of
potatoes?
tubers. I wonder how much, like, like you don't want to grow. Maybe onions are too big and carrots are just right because they're like nice and slender. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think I wouldn't grow anything round. I think the carrots could slide right through the roots and kind of do their own thing and
Yeah,
not
that's
really
so
affect
cool,
much.
man.
Yeah, that is fucking wild.
But his plants
I
look great too. Like they're enjoying it too.
yeah,
The companionship.
there's people that theorize that's one way to like change plants' terpene profiles to grow certain plants near them and in the same soil, next to each other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He says you could do scallions, not onions. Huh? Good idea.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Now,
clever.
what is this thing in
I
the?
don't know if I'd want onions around my herb, personally. Even scallions.
Guess it depends on your
Yeah,
turp
you don't
profile.
want that GMO.
And I love onions, but I don't. Nah.
Now, what is this plant? Do you see what I'm like in the right lower side of the screen?
Yeah.
It looks like that's also something in the soil, but I'm not sure. I would imagine this is an auto. Just has that look to it. I don't know. You tell me, PB. Again,
Well,
I feel like I know, but
I'm gonna guess
I
auto
never
too
do.
because it's short. Unless he flipped that thing really
But-
early.
He says this is Mandarin Skittles by Ethos. Is it that one we're looking at the whole time?
Ooh.
He did spend
Is
a lot
that
of
an
time
auto?
training it. Maybe not. Maybe not. So no, I don't think so.
Beautiful green color. He's chopping soon, he says. Yeah, I think this is the one we've been looking at the whole time. Yeah, Mandarin
Interesting.
Skittles. Got that nice purple color coming through. Yeah, man, chonky. Look at that.
He's gonna pull some serious weight off there.
Yeah. All right,
Dude, you're
we're recycling
holy
here.
shit. Listen to this dude, the motherfucker. His neighbors cut his power for a week. What the fuck? I'd fucking kill him.
Oh, what did he say? He had an issue with his neighbors and they cut his
Yeah.
power for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Yeah, man. I don't know about. I'd have words with my neighbor if they did that to me during my grow. But this was just the other day. He posted this, man. I thought it was interesting. And it might have something to do with Mercury being in retrograde.
That's not a seed, is it? There's no way that's a seed. It looks like a clone.
He says it's a mutant. But, like, yeah, it looks like there's a bud growing off of. Like, what am I looking at exactly?
Looks
Like,
like-
is it a
looks like a-
seedling?
Looks like a clone because I'm looking at some like woody stem mixture there, unless I'm not seeing it right. Yeah.
I think
So
it's
wow.
a. Oh yeah. See, he says it came from a seed.
Wow.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Like when I looked at it first, I was like, "That's a seedling." It just looks really weird.
I don't know. I've never seen nothing like that before.
It's Mercury in retrograde, man. Don't start any seeds, or else they might look like this.
That's fucking weird looking as fuck. What the fuck? What is that?
It's the most wonky looking seedling I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, like what
Right?
strain is it? Curious. If you don't, you don't have to tell us, but I'm just curious
Well,
because
yeah, now I am curious too, but we'll hear from him in the Discord, guys. Like I know this is tough, like really to portray in an audio sense. This is really for like the benefit of the people who tune in live. So if you're a podcast land listener and you don't like this segment, then guess what? You can go fuck yourself.
Or just go watch the videos on YouTube.
You'll tune into the videos to watch it exactly. Because it's much better with the actual pictures.
yeah,
But yeah, I want to know what it is.
Crazy.
that is
But-
wild looking.
Yeah, man. So yeah, thank you to all our Patreons for letting us barge into your gardens unannounced and look at all your beautiful plants and your mutants.
Yep. And
She's
if you're-
beautiful too, just because she's a mutant.
No, she's
doesn't
not.
mean
G3.
she's not.
Yes, she is.
You're too fucking nice. That thing's ugly.
She
as
might
sin.
surprise
It
you.
deserves to go out to the fucking
No.
woodshed.
There isn't a single can of
You
this
think it
plant
deserves
on
a
this
snuff,
earth
huh?
that's
I was just
ugly.
gonna say it deserves a cap and snuff film. Personally,
Oh, how dare you?
I love you, but you know what I'm saying. Hey, and one thing, if you're listening to this and you're a Patreon supporter and you're on Discord and you want your own room to show off your gear, your shit you're growing or whatever, let us know. There's still some of you that may not know about that feature. Even though I'm pretty sure it's should be integrated with your Patreon. Let me know.
Yeah, just
Let Cap
let
know.
us
Let
know.
G3 know.
We can
The
set you up
easiest
with a
way.
room anytime.
Yeah, and the easiest way to let us know about that is on Discord, because most of the time your name is different or it's hard to find or whatever. So if you want a room, and you're a Patreon supporter, message one of us, and we'll take care of you.
If you're not a
Amen.
Patreon supporter, come hang out on our Discord anyway.
Yeah,
It's
Yep.
really fun. It's
Supporter or
free.
not,
Grab the link from our
if
webpage or
you
from one of us. Easy
yep.
peasy lemon squeezy.
And
truth.
those of you
Thank you.
can check the website as we speak. I've started to upload products we use. You can click on there. Disclaimer: it is Amazon affiliate, so we do get a small commission. And when I mean small, I mean small. But it does help the show. Um, and those are some of the products that we like to use. There will be nothing on there that we don't use, or haven't used. So, um, so far there's only half a dozen products in there, and they're actually the ones G3 recommended first. So, but
Nice.
some of them are actually products that Cap uses as well because they're mostly organic products. So,
There's very few that I do use. And I've been recommending the same ones for
yeah,
years.
cold.
You
It's
know.
all a lot of it's Cold War shit.
Yeah.
That both you guys use. So
I mean, there's
pop on
stuff I
there.
actually do go through. Is like a couple build a soil things. A couple, very very little. It's the beauty of organics is the simplicity.
Yes.
But yeah,
I encourage you to check back every few days. There'll be more uploaded there
cool.
as we go along.
Thanks for doing that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Quick shout out too before we go to Dinosaur. I got some of his stickers.
Oh, sweet.
The Grateful Gardener. I got some of his stickers. And Mr. Johnny. I got some of
That's
his
a cool
stuff
one.
too.
Yeah,
So
nice.
shout
I
out.
just found out recently from BGG that Grateful and Nerd are not too far from us. We may have to fucking do a no-knock raid one of these days. Me and
You have a
BGG just
real
fucking
name.
come down,
Real
kick in
raid.
your fucking door with a bunch of joints and hand them out and smoke them. Wouldn't that be terrible?
How
Yeah,
threatening.
I know.
Smoke this now. It's pure Michigan. You might hate it.
Shut up and tell me you like it. Yeah.
It's funny, man. But
Pure Michigan lemon cava.
Yeah,
dude,
that's
like
too
you
obvious,
call
and
it
plus
like
it's been done
pure
already.
Massachusetts.
What's that?
You could call it pure Massachusetts.
Pure Massachusetts just to piss off the Michigan people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys in the chat for sticking with us here for an hour and a half. A little long one tonight, just kind of goofing around. It was a fun one.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, of course, to the Patreons. You get, you getting what's coming to you guys. And thank you to you
And
guys.
all of our love too, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And thank you to you guys putting up with me and all my weirdness, craziness. So, thank
Pleasure,
you.
as always.
Thank you.
Always,
And
always.
until next time, my friends, we will see you next week. Do not get caught.
Do fuck yourself.
Adios.